Welcome back to the PlayStation Challenge. This is episode 2, and before we get into things, we have some stressful things to address that are gonna drastically affect today's episode. Number 1, we are currently outside of the local game shop, which is Punch-Out Gaming. They're pretty famous and they're kind of a wild card store, and what I would say by that is you may have seen a news article or a news showing back in 2022 where Punch-Out Gaming was robbed in over $250,000 of Pokemon cards.
Justice has been 14 long months in the making for Eric Johnson and Punch-Out Gaming after thieves stole thousands of dollars in Pokemon cards after cutting through the store's wall. The whole thing caught on camera.
Knowing who these guys were for the last 13, 14 months drove us crazy since they were still running around on the streets.
It's a very unfortunate event. Apparently those 2 thieves were caught. I don't know if the products were returned or more than likely they got insurance money. Regardless, this store has been through a lot. Now, me personally, I like coming here and trying to support them, especially after something like the robbery happening. But I've also had very interesting experiences, and this isn't to downplay the store. They have an amazing selection of inventory, but what I get by this is I was working on a video prior for the YouTube channel, and I walked in to buy some cords for consoles because when I pick them up at garage sales or thrift stores, if it's missing a controller or a cord, I like to come here to Punch-Out Gaming to support them, but to buy the accessories that I need to complete certain bundles. I noticed in the case that they had Kuon for the PS2, which in my opinion is like the #1 grail, and I am the biggest PS2 fan there is. I know that console also has like some mixed reviews compared to others like the N64, but getting to the point, they were asking damn near $1,000, which is about market. I mean, it's between like $800 and $1,000. I like to do trades, especially with the local game stores where I can unload good inventory to try to get something that I want in my collection. In this case, I brought in a Donkey Kong banana controller, which is around $300. I brought in like GTA Vice City Stories on the PS2, $40-50 right there. NCAA 14, another $80 to $100 game on the PS3. The individuals told me that none of these items would sell, even though they were blatantly already in the cases for sale. So just really weird items like that. Me in post-production, as I'm editing, I realized I rambled. I know that's a big thing with me. What I was trying to say is nothing bad about Punch-Out. I'm just indifferent sometimes with my own personal experiences. But once again, this is no hate. It's a great store overall, and they have a huge selection of inventory. So that's why we're going to be going in there today to try to accomplish some more games on our PlayStation list. And like I said, not to bash them, great store. If you're a collector in the area, I don't even know if they sell online. I do highly recommend them for the inventory that they have, but selling to them or other trading experiences is just a hit or miss. Moral of that rant right there, with the $164.66 that we left off in our last episode, it is finally time to add some games to the collection. And since this is the local store, we're gonna go in, we're gonna try to see if we can tackle some more games that are on the PS1 list. I'm not gonna blatantly record with the GoPro like I did in the past, just because of some of the issues that I've had. So I'm gonna try to respect the employees' decisions, even though I got permission from the owners. And if I find things, I'm just gonna record them on my phone as is, so I apologize for that. But let's go in, see if we could tackle some of the things on our list. But the other thing that's a little bit stressful too, with this $164, I don't know if we spend all of that on one big heavy item like a Silent Hill or like a Persona PS1 game that we need, or if we tackle some of the smaller ones that may be like $5, $10, $20 and get a handful of games today, and then try to restack our funds to purchase one of the bigger items. So stay tuned. I know that was a long explanation, but we're about to go in and see what we can make happen wish me luck. 60% of you guys are not even subscribed to the channel, so if you guys are interested in video games, restorations, retro items, nerdy things, make sure to go down, hit that subscribe button, and stay up to date with all the videos. Now I will finally catch you guys inside and see if we can get some more games. And let me tell you, walking into the store with $164 with our PlayStation 1 budget, it feels good to shop instead of struggling to find funds to afford these games. Initially, right off the bat, as you're seeing with the display case, there is a lot of amazing titles like Lunar $200 that's clearly going to be out of today's budget. As you noticed earlier, there is some like Ape Escape and Nightmare Creatures that is on our list. I gotta figure out exactly how I want to break down the funds today, and if I want to spend it all or if we're only gonna spend a portion. And on the back aspect here too, you're seeing a gigantic wall of an amazing selection of PS1 games. They're not as expensive, but some interesting titles that I've never seen before, like Carnival Zin, I've never seen that before. Death Trap Dungeon, it's just an interesting title that kind of piqued my interest. It seems to lean on the horror aspect, and that's definitely something I like. Like they had Tony Hawk Pro Skater, which is a game that's on the list, but its greatest hits, and as you guys know, I'm going for nothing but black labels, and the Powerpuff Girls here was a candidate I thought about using as a pick-me spot, but the manual was just a little bit too worn down. We ended up spending $111.37. Actually walked out of Punch-Out with a good selection, so let's show you what we picked up and cross some more off of our list. First one you know I had to grab was Death Trap Dungeon for $13.99. It isn't exactly on our list to pick up, but as you guys know, we have 6 pick-me spots where if anything looks interesting or appeals to me, I can use that to fill in the board. That's where that is going, along with Ape Escape. This is a childhood classic. I thought for 40 bucks it wasn't terrible. We're gonna cross it off the list because it was within our budget. And the last one was Nightmare Creatures. They had a second copy there for like 25 bucks, but it was missing the manual. I didn't want that, even though this is a little bit above market value. I believe price charting's like 30 bucks. It was worth the pickup, and of course I had to grab a power cord for the PS1 because we don't even have that to get the bad boy playing. At this rate, after Punch-Out, this is probably the most satisfying part to me, is we finally get to cross off a few from the list, and there's also one more that wasn't recorded on camera that I will explain how we acquired, and I will show you what the game is. It's on our list, obviously. And the other one we're going to be crossing off our list is Bob the Builder. This one was actually given to me by Zach. You guys have seen him on the channel. We did a game room tour a few months back. That video should be up in one of the cards if you guys want to go and watch that. He also started his own channel called Z Squared Gaming. I just want to give him a little bit of a shout out. He just started, so if you guys want to go over there and give him a little bit of support, that would be much appreciated. In one of his recent pickup videos, I went over and sold him a handful of games, Sega Genesis, some Nintendo Power games for some quick cash because I was funding a pinball at the time. And when he was at Goodwill, he stumbled upon the Bob the Builder, which he obviously knows I'm doing this PlayStation series. He found it for $3. So when I went over there and did the whole exchange, he ended up giving this to me for free. So besides us not really spending any money on it, I'm gonna kind of count it because, like I said, it was free and it was basically a game that we need and it was super cheap anyway, so we're gonna also cross this one off on the list. This is actually super satisfying though, I'm not gonna lie. I want the whole board to be freaking kicked. All right. Boom. Moving forward, we decided to go to Half Price Books. This is the first location. They actually only had one PlayStation game, which was in the case, which was Myst. It was 40 bucks, so it's within our budget, but it just wasn't a title that I was looking for, even though it's not on the board. And they did have one that was greatest hits, I should say, but like I said, we're not going after that. We're going after the black labels. But at this location, at least Catrian was able to find something she's been looking for. Alright, fine. Let me see it. I know this is completely irrelevant, but
I've been looking for this thing for like a solid year.
Are you gonna get it?
Hell yeah.
Alright.
I realize I probably just look really stupid.
It's cute. Even though I wasn't able to find any games to add to our list, I'm happy that Katrin was able to find this Winnie the Pooh pop. She's been looking for it for a very long time. So moving forward, we went to the second half-price books location just to arrive and basically find out that the selection wasn't any better. They actually only had 2 games which were up at the top, and they were both horrible. I'm not a big fan of like the classic games or the racing titles, so with that being said, this was basically a bust, and I think we're just gonna end off this episode with the $53 in our budget. I think that's a wrap. I'm not going to eat up any more of your time. We got 4 games today off of the list. We have a big chunk to go with $53.29 left in the budget. We can add these to the shelf. It is slowly coming along and filling in. Stay tuned for episode 3. Hopefully we can build back up the budget and get some more games off of the list. Stay tuned.